triple dip on Fox today. Into the Big 12 we go. A title at stake, perhaps, for number 17 Iowa State. They meet a nemesis, Kansas State. We're live at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. Hi again, everyone. Tim Brando by my side, the old Sooner, Spencer Tillman. Now, look, Bedlam's coming up later, but let's be real. If Oklahoma were to win the Big 12 title, it would be rather pedestrian without going to a playoff. If Tom Herman were to get there for Texas, it might save his job. But if Iowa State were to get there, it would be nirvana. They haven't won a Big 12 title or any title since 1912.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. 108 years, last game that you called, if I'm not mistaken. Timmy, you're absolutely right. I agree 100% with you. But when you look at this team and you look at Matt Campbell, its head coach, I think that they have the personality. They understand the moment. And he's going to transfer that wisdom that he talked to us about, hopefully get a chance to unpack that through the course of the game and direct it toward his quarterback, Brock Purdy. He's going to need it because he had a tough outing against Baylor. 3 interceptions in that first half. But I think that staid personality is going to settle him down.
Kansas, stay right where you are. The kick is next on Fox. In America's heartland, a fight is brewing. 2 states will battle to stay on course for a Big 12 title. On one side, the true freshman has had to grow up quick. While on the other, we've seen a star grow before our own eyes. 2 coaches who personify their team's toughness through and through. Kleinman, Campbell. It's Kansas State. It's Iowa State. It's Armageddon. Now on Fox.
Tim, I love your comments off the top of the show. Which one of these 2 teams can create their own energy? This is the biggest moment to match it. If they harness it, it could be the difference in victory and defeat.
And a fair catch is called, and they'll bring it out to the 25-yard line for their first down opportunity of the day. Brock Purdy, junior from Gilbert, Arizona, prepped at Perry High School, son of a minor league baseball player, Sean, who did a marvelous job. His brother Chubba was injured and lost for the season at Florida State. It is a football family, and this opportunity that came his way 2 years ago before the West Virginia game is where he made his claim. But to gather some fame, real fame, it would be winning a Big 12 championship. That conference title in 1912 was in the Missouri Valley Conference. Reese Hall is the setback, top running back in the country, and he's stopped by Daniel Green. Comes in there to make the stop for Kansas State defensively. As you look at the Cyclone offensive front, keep an eye on Jake Rimsberg. He'll have to deal with Wyatt Hubert today on the opposite side, who is arguably the best defensive end in this conference and maybe the country. Charlie Kohler's a go-to tight end. We touched on Hall, who had that first carry. Landon Akers will get the lion's share of work in the slot today.
Hubert, 56, is going to be active, Timmy, to be sure.
2nd down and 9.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there he is, right on cue. You touched on it. Wyatt Hubert he engulfs people when he makes time. Jarrell Brock is coming to the game in the backfield, number 21, freshman from Quincy, Illinois. On 3rd down and 12, Purdy, shallow cross, complete to Xavier Hutchinson, and he gets to the sideline. On the edge, and enough for a first down. A huge 3rd down conversion here in the opening series, out to the 43.
And this is the one.
Touched on that linebacking core. They're going to try to really get in to that area with intermediate passes. This is another example, another crossing pattern to Sean Shaw Jr., number 2.
Ross Elder coming up strong from that safety position again, and he's going to need to be constantly up in front. But they got a waggle. Remember we used to call this the waggle? When you come motion out, play action, and get the tight end coming underneath, he's going to be active. It's a safety.
2nd and short. There goes Hall on the stretch play, and he gets the corner and turns it back up. And he's inside the 35 to the 32. Keandre Thomas making the tackle. Well, let's remember now, Elijah Sullivan gone. Justin Hughes gone. Those linebackers would be making these plays. And they're going to check on an injured Kansas State Wildcat, Keandre Thomas. Iowa State's going to try to exploit them.
22 in particular. Daniel Green is the one that's going to get the lion's share of the challenge.
They go deep into the corner for Skates. Skates with the touchdown. The sophomore from Dayton Dunbar High School.
Jimmy, Justin Gardner back there defended. You can see him. He's manned up, matching. He's going to bail and then turn and try to squeeze that sideline on him. But he gets behind him. Right, left hand, a little push. push off, a little love tap off the back to get some separation. Didn't call it though, but man, I'll tell you, and he felt it too. He knew it, did Gardner. Immediately, he felt the pressure. But you know, this is huge for Iowa State, given how Birdie had the nondescript start against Baylor with the 3 interceptions in the first half of that contest.
Connor Asali will try for the extra point. That's Iowa State's 4th touchdown pass. Purdy gets the job done in the air. Fourth touchdown pass for Purdy. Skates his 2nd. He's going to do a little skating too.
Yes, sir. Roll bounce.
I need the last couple of times out. It's 1st down and 10 from the 35.
Nice.
Play fake. And the crossing pattern over the middle. That's Sebastian Taylor. And the junior from Giddings, Tennessee. Taylor on the receiving end there. You're right, though. Vaughn may be used as a receiver a lot today. Here he is following his fullback, Jax Deneen. And he gets ahead inside the 30 to the 28-yard line because he was playing at Northern Iowa. They dealt with him before. Vaughn on the check down. And they lost yardage there. They're trying to strip it away from him after the fact.
Jake Holt.
Look that John Haycock gives as defensive coordinator. Again, they run a little curl action that was for a 1st down. Keon Mosey, he had it before. Forward progress will net him the 1st down before being pushed back. Yeah, the Potter is in the backfield now. Brooks is in motion. Right up the gut they go with Trotter. He is down to the signal actually at the 18-yard line. 2nd down and 3. 3 of 7 on that play. Trotter remains dotting the I here. Good cutback. Almost to the line to make. I think he'll be about a yard shy. Lawrence White with another stop. Let's get
both these teams doing exactly what they need to do to win.
3rd down, a foot to go. And a good call by Howard. He's an outstanding runner inside the 5 and down to the 3. Tied for 3rd all-time among K-State freshmen, including Skylar Thompson for his effectiveness as a runner. There he is again, this time outstanding penetration from Iowa State defensively. It's Hummel again, 35, the senior from Des Moines, just down the road. They go 2 by 1 here, and Brooks is in motion. Take it to him. Howard lets it go. A little late getting rid of that one. It was intended for Taylor. Thrown a bit late. He broke away free, Spencer. I thought about a count or 2 before the ball was delivered.
Well, it was a level
3rd and goal now from the 5. And a timeout taken by the former North Dakota State. Transparency with him. Jax Deneen in the backfield. Play fake, and he's going to call his own number again. But Howard is stopped shy at the 1.5, it would appear. Somewhere between the 2 and the 1. And now a decision here for Kleiman. It is marked at the 2. 4th and goal. He keeps it. Howard is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Stoned, and a magnificent move defensively by Lawrence White, the free safety, coming up to jam the run. He and Will McDonald collaborate.
Lawrence White was Johnny on the spot, man. Weren't fooled by all by the 3-man formation downstairs. Coach says, I like the outcome. We'll do that again. I like it.
Lawrence White made that big play, the senior from Bakersfield, California. And Spencer will diagnose it for you in a moment. Now it's Brees Hall that carries, and he burrows ahead to the 5-yard line. Spencer, let's go back to what you thought was a good zone read concept maneuver that turned into a great play for Iowa State.
Matt made the great decision on this, but look at what the safety does. Again, Lawrence White comes off of his responsibility, isn't fooled by the man in motion and blocking, and he's allowed to get 2 people on the runner. And again, I love the decision that he made. That's just being a football player, diagnosing a play in real time to make a play. That's outstanding.
Out of the shotgun now, Brock Purdy with Brees Hall in the backfield. And it's Hall again. A little high hurdle action to get to about the 8, maybe the 9. That's Shaw in motion. And now Purdy looks on that quick cut in and curled it in there. And I think Boydo is going to be flagged as Xavier Hutchinson, the intended receiver, and Echo Boydo may have gotten there prematurely and bailed them out. Come down.
Nice little push and chuck after that. That left arm got on the shoulder.
Ball's placed at the start of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
Well, if you're watching Brock's play, that was a well-thrown ball to the outside. And accuracy is what he had a problem with against Baylor in the first half.
Play fake is in, another crossing pattern to Hutchinson. He breaks one tackle. Now he heads for the sideline. Banged out at the 42-yard line by A.J. Parker. First down, Cyclones.
Timmy, the worst thing in the world is have a lot of water between you and a would-be defender. Short motion here. They got to get a little jump start, but then he breaks and cuts this off. Hutchinson pulls this thing down and just nice running up in space, and they're going pace and tempo here.
They do, and Brock Purdy will hold on to it. And he, too, can jitterbug. And he high steps his way inside the 40 of Kansas State. And once again, the Cyclones are on the move.
Using Harry as a blocker and judiciously moving down the field. You can see Brock said, hey, look, I'm going to wait on your partner. No rush. Take your time. Use your blockers. Outstanding job. Holding that ball properly in that left hand. Hey, they get a couple extra yards. I like that. Athletic.
Longu is now in the backfield, number 3.
Good footwork in the backfield.
Purdy finds his tight end on the cross. Dylan Sainer. And Sainer, the young man from Prairie Grove, Arkansas, lumbers inside the 30 for a first down.
And it's all about Purdy footwork here in the backfield. And watch him take a shot on top of this. Again, he steps up in the field, eyes downfield, head still up, diagnosing what's happened, takes the shot, and completes the pass. That right there is a complete football play right there. Accuracy, delivering it, willingness to take the shot and finish. Big-time play there. Tight end pays it off. Sainer does a fantastic job of getting downfield with his big body to seal the deal.
He may have a better ceiling than even Kohler, who's their number 1 go-to tight end in terms of where he might go after college. And Purdy once again carries it and is knocked down at the 25-yard line.
These tight ends are pretty talented here, man. They've got 3 of them. They'll line them up all over the field. Allen, Kohler, Sainer. All of these guys are special, man. They're athletic, and they do a tremendous job blocking.
It's amazing. Both Iowa State, and you think about it, Spencer, Iowa, those 2 programs have produced some of the great tight ends in the modern era.
Offense number.
Chase Allen, the extra tight end. Purdy goes with the out pattern, and it's Hutchinson. He stopped at the 25-yard line, so they get Iowa State 44% on third down conversions this year. Here comes pressure up the gut. Purdy pulls it. Look out. A lot of green grass in front of him. Inside the 10. Puts himself down comfortably at the 8 in the arms of Keandre Thomas.
Well, those guys on the outside, White, Herbert, and Massey, Bronson Massey outside, and then Elijah Huggins, all of those guys trying to get up the field in the push. You can see that push is what allows Purdy to step up in that pocket. I mean, he's got his eyes still downfield, trying to make a play with his arm as opposed to his legs. Now, he knows he can do this easy. That is run the ball, but look at his eyes. He's diagnosing the play. That's big-time football right there. Only pulls it down as a third option. That's what you want from your quarterback.
Fletcher, 55, the linebacker, took the wrong angle on his blitz, and Purdy made him pay. Zone read, and Purdy will take it to about the 6. We talked about these linebackers, Spencer, and Clanderman decided to come with a blitz on that play. Purdy read it, and the angle taken by Fletcher, 55, just picked up 17 yards on it and set him up inside the 10-yard line again. Second and goal.
Nice job.
He kept it again. Beautiful fake. But into the boundary, K-State did not bite. Keandre Thomas. These corners and safeties for the Wildcats are so good.
But when it looks like a collision, that just means the quarterback made a great decision. You look like Breece Hall's going to get gobbled up. 59 thinks he's made a play, and Purdy's got the ball. That's what the option game is all about. It's about deception. If I make you take that guy and you gobble him up, I have a one-man advantage on the edge, and Purdy's just so good at it.
Well, we knew it was going to be a fast quarter. It was. Both teams moving up and down the field. Kansas State was stoned, though, on fourth down. That's the difference as the Cyclones lead by 7 and are looking for more as we head to quarter number 2. Brock Purdy has 36 yards rushing in one quarter. In the previous 2 games he's played against Kansas State, he had 15 carries for 34 total yards. So, by far and away, his best performance. Back in the end zone. Caught. It's touchdown. It's Charlie Kohler.
Charlie's got nobody over the top of him. Nice job with the head and the influence with the body, and splits that zone coverage on the back end. They were probably going to try to bracket him with the off safety, but it's the safety, but it was accuracy. You see how that ball is led? You got a safety coming over the top, Timmy, and that would be McPherson. Jerron McPherson, he was the closer, but Purdy led his receiver to that ball and kept it on his inside shoulder and didn't give McPherson a chance to intercept it. That's outstanding accuracy.
Solly with the extra point. And to this point, the Cyclones are absolutely buttoned up because their quarterback is accurate, and he's beating them with his arm as well as his legs. Well, the Iowa State Cyclones have really had a great start. Look at that, a 97-yard drive. Purdy 4 for 4, he was perfect. Kohler now with the touchdown catch, and he's one away from the record for tight ends in Iowa State history.
Well, that drive was impressive. That was 11 plays, 97 yards, as you said, and 6:27 taken off the clock. But I'm impressed with the total and completeness of Iowa State's domination on the ground and through the air.
Great Nettles with the pitch. Here comes Dees Vaughn back at you. Spun down at the 10-yard line. Well, just great coverage. You can tell how pumped up this Cyclone team is. And now they are not really good playing from behind. They're a ball control team that has to have long drives to win. Now they need something, and they need something on this drive right here, right now. Pass is overthrown, intended for Phillip Brooks.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 58 for the...
That's Ular Zaricki.
I don't know about that. That really was across the face.
Well, it was underneath the headgear.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. Slaughter is now in the backfield. Watch how many times they line Deuce Vaughn up somewhere other than running back. Slaughter ahead for 2, maybe 3. Burns, 33, the senior from Wichita, Kansas, in the backfield now. That's Keenan Garber in motion. Wow, look at that. And a little sweep action with him, and Iowa State just all over it. And Mike Rose, you can imagine that he would be the first to get there, and he was.
A rose by any other name is a rose, and he still smells sweet as he arrives big time, man.
Did you work on that overnight?
Little Shakespeare action. Look at 23 right here. Sliding and reacting, and watch him go get it. Like a heat-seeking missile, man. That's mine. Love that big play. He says, let's go, fellas.
Well, that's Trotter in the backfield. 3rd down and 10. Corner kick blitz. The ball is out. I don't know that. I think it was a fumble, actually. McDonald got him, and I mean, right as he was in a defenseless position about to throw the football. I think they're going to rule it incomplete, but I don't know that the...
Watch him come off the ball and then get to the edge. Outstanding job of hiding himself so that the tackle doesn't come out there and reach to try to block him on the outside. Impressive job luring him in.
It was incomplete, and his arm was moving forward. The numbers on Purdy, perfect. 7 of 7, 114, and a couple of touchdowns, 5 rushes for 38 yards, which, as we mentioned, eclipses the number he had in his 2 prior meetings against Kansas State. And again, this is a series that has been dominated by the Wildcats in recent years. That's a 5-yard gain for Hall.
Back of the end zone, he has been perfect.
Breece Hall, a gaping hole for him to run through, past the 35 to the 37-yard line. I mean, you can make a case as good as Purdy has been today. This has been Breece Hall's team for the most part.
He's carried him. I mean, nobody's got more prolific numbers as a runner.
I mean, he's getting celebrated now as maybe the best back in the country. Yep. And that quick slant goes incomplete for Sainer, and McPherson was there in coverage. Center unable to bring that one in, so it's 2nd down and 10. And Breece Hall, this time they line up in the slot at the bottom of your screen. That one's tipped in the air. Batted down. I'm thinking that could have been Hubert again. He blocks passes, it seems, with tremendous regularity. The Luck is now moved into the backfield. They need a stop here, Kansas State, on 3rd down and more than 10, and they got it. They stopped Brock 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Cody Fletcher, the weak side linebacker, with the stop. The Tyler averaging 41 yards, his longest 64 earlier. Phillip Brooks is back deep.
Great punt. Let's see if he takes us to the far field.
He does. And he has a convoy. Look out. Brooks does have some speed, has to cut it back. Good pursuit, though, by the Cyclones.
Holding. Receiving team number 20. Penalties half the distance to the goal from where...
The guilty party there.
Yeah, he did a little WWF on it. The takedown, DJ Render, reserve wide receiver, number 20. You can see him just take his guy down to the ground, and they're going to catch that. Back jump was all over it. Sees it immediately.
Here's Vaughn in the backfield. Not a lot of room with which to work against that suffocating Iowa State defense. Is in the game now, wide receiver. Though he'd love to atone for the penalty to put him in this spot. Here's Howard with a little zone read action to Vaughn.
Got him in it.
And he lost it. Wow. Had it, lost it. He was well covered. As he was trying to put the ball away, the contact was made. And again, Iowa State defensively so physical. Really well-designed concept here, though.
Well, they had him in the slot, and that's one of the things we talked about in our keys to the game. You got to get Deuce loose.
3rd down and 11. And again, Howard from out of his end zone in the shotgun.
3-man rush. Timmy got plenty of time.
Yes, he does. Running out now, though, and just throws it away. Intended. Boomer will punt it away. Sophomore from Marysville, Kansas. Fair catch is called for by Eisworth. At the Kansas State 46-yard. Daughter's involved, his wife. Right there on the Oklahoma-Texas border.
Yep.
Cross again to the tight end. Dylan Singer. And they're going to just continue to go after the middle portion of that Kansas State defense, which is suffering without its 2 linebackers.
Jerome McPherson, the free safety, was trying to make an effort to get over there, but he falls down and trying to make a play on it. And Sainer just leaps over him. Shows you that athletic ability, too. Big 89. That's a big boy right there now. Time that thing up and doesn't get much after it, but just to even get up vertical and clear a guy's impressive.
So 1st down from the 33. Purdy 9 for 11, 136 yards.
Oh, a tall sweep there.
Right into the boundary to Hall. And he'll usher himself out of bounds. So a twin tight end look.
A nice wham block.
And there goes Hall. Reese is inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line, and he stopped. 3rd down, a yard to go.
Coach Campbell, look at that staid look on him, man. He is about as dialed in as you're going to get. Tim, I hope we get the chance to talk about what makes him unique and special. He's an introspective guy at 40 years of age. To be able to have the wisdom to know what needs to get corrected is impressive.
Beautiful cut by Hall. Saw that there was just nothing to the right-hand side. Redirected himself. Got the 1st down. Ross Elder, number 19. Ray Nwangu has come in for him now. They'll pitch it to the wide side of the field today, and he's stopped with a shoestring tackle made in space. We talked about Hall. He had 133 yards in that game with Baylor, and they had to come from behind after the 3 turnovers in the first half. Really bailed him out to put him in this position. Looking into the corner, Hutchinson.
Nice.
He's got it. Touchdown. How about that fade? Right over Echo Boydo. He put that where only his guy could get it, and he did.
Boydo tried to identify the ball and make it his own, and he played about as well as you could play it. But again, this gets back to the accuracy. What an unbelievable first half this is in contrast to the one he had against Baylor. Purdy has been perfect on the spot, reading, reacting, and you can see the emotion. He's jacked up.
You know, he had a little bit of a come to grips with reality meeting with his coach when he had the 3 INTs at halftime. His coach said, I don't bet a whole lot, but if I'm a betting man, things are going to start going your way.
Yep.
That's what Matt told him. And the reality is, it's his time. He's dialing up 7s and 11s right now. Cyclones have their set sight on their first ever Big 12 title opportunity. Speaking of success, these numbers will get you there. Look at the pass distribution. That's just outstanding.
Dirty, filthy, accurate, and he knows it. That's a cream right there, but he's on top of the world.
He's got some swagger about him, no question.
I mean, I say that in a good way, because he's just a great young man. Anybody knows him. Great man of faith. Awesome young kid.
Vaughn, a little move to the right-hand side to set up great field position. That was Coach Tom Allen in our big noon game. Indiana in Columbus. opportunity with the ball as the game wound to an end, and we've got a marker down.
That's a miss.
Prior to the play clock expiring, Kansas State calls their second.
Made it back to his alma mater, Tennessee. Trotter is in the backfield, and Deuce Vaughn is in there too, and he moves ahead. Having both
locked in on 22.
2nd down and 10.
26 pressure off the edge.
Yeah, and an out pattern that goes incomplete. Well defended. Taylor, the intended receiver. Riley Moore, the tight end, has moved into the slot. Howard looks that way. That pass almost picked off. It was thrown.
Likely going to be Aaron.
So Aaron to punt it away with Eisworth back deep. And he is going to let this one bounce on a short punt. Take a nice little roll for the Wildcats down to the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 for Iowa State, up 21 from their own 12-yard line.
Patience.
Look at Trice Hall. Look at him go. Almost lost the handle on his own. Could have turned it over when Bronson Massey, 90, was running him down. The ball was just slipping from him, and he was able to regather. If Massey got there just a week of an eyelash sooner, he might have been able to create a turnover.
But you saw him get vertical again and just make another defender miss, and that's A.J. Parker, the cornerback, who couldn't get him. Massey on the back end finally brings him down. But the subtleness of Hall is impressive to watch. He's a special runner.
From the 38 after the 26-yard gain. Play action. Purdy with all kinds of time. Rolling left, throwing over his body, and it is caught at the 32 by Hutchinson. Xavier Hutchinson, the junior college transfer from Glenn College, Glenn JC in Texas.
So much happened on this play, including the protection after the fake. And you can see Hutchinson coming across, the wider of the two receivers. This is another one of those deep, shallow crossing routes. He sees it and continues on, goes to that deep third of the field. The ball is a little bit short. And they're going fast again.
They call me the Trice. Touchdown.
Just a little ISO inside again, the patience to make the first guy miss. He's just impressive, man. Drew Wiley thought he had him dead to rights. Steps out of a would-be tackler on that particular side of the play. And Timmy, he's a complete back. I don't think, look at him carrying the ball high and tight. He sees his eyes running away from a guy with the stiff arm to get the extra yards and stay in bounds and get vertical again and finish. I really like this guy's makeup. Everything about his game is on point.
T. Denson, the freshman, had the last shot at him. Well, that young man has got incredible talent. All systems go for Iowa State.
Here. Gotta get rid of this.
Howard. That is picked right in front of Riley Moore, and it's Mike Rose. And Iowa State has their foot on the jugular and won't let go.
Got to work on my Shakespeare, get another one for Rose, man. He's smelling sweeter as the evening goes on. He just stepped right in front of them. What jumped out on tape to me about him was his physicalness, but this is about instinct, about understanding he's got a guy he's trying to defend. It's a tight end. I love the matchup, first of all. Linebacker on the tight end. You'll want that, but this guy right here, making plays, man.
His granddad, Chuck Lima, played football at Notre Dame from 1954 to 58, so the package within the family is awfully good. And Kene Nwangwu is in the backfield now.
Haycock does a great job with that defense, and this defense is not giving up, Timmy.
Yeah, they're angry. And Kansas State, a team that prides itself on winning the turnover margin, being burned today in every aspect. Gets it to the 40, and that's that. Stop. I know it's been a rough week. They, at the very beginning of the week, were wondering whether they would have enough guys to even make the trip to play. But they were without 7 players, you might recall, when they beat Oklahoma.
Hold on, here comes a shot at the top, Tim.
Over the middle, he goes to Brock. And I think he may have the first down. He is very close. They're going to trip him up, I think, about a half yard shy of the 28. So the long blue in the backfield. Chase Allen, one of the tight ends, has moved into the slot now. And it's the long blue for the first down. On 1st and 10. The Wangler on the stretch play. Down to the 21-yard line. Howard.
That's a good coach right there, Coach Kleiman. He's going to get this program where it needs to be. Got hit hard with COVID this week. And wow, look at this.
Brees Hall.
Wow, look at this.
It's just too easy. Touchdown. The Cyclones by 34.
Jimmy, when you talk about inline runners, I want you to look at the move he makes on A.J. Parker. After it's subtle, but it's a straight upfield and then vertical move right here. That little move right there is enough to get you in the end zone. That is a thing of beauty because you lose no speed. Nice move to get vertical. Great camera work. Our guys downstairs. Wonderful job of seeing an elite back do what he does.
And A.J. Parker's an outstanding player.
Oh, he is. Great cover guy.
He's a senior from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and a ball hawk and a guy that comes up and runs support very well. Brees Hall, the sophomore from Wichita, Kansas, gets it done. Started with the pick by Rose, and now they're blossoming in Iowa State. How about this company for Brees Hall?
Oh,
That's pretty tall, don't you think?
that's special. Again, talked about those consecutive games, over 150 yards and a touchdown in each one of them.
Brees Hall's third 20-plus yard run today. Hall has now rushed for 100-plus yards against every Big 12 team in his career. His 9th touchdown game in his career. 5th. Half coming up is going to be all about that. It's going to be all about developing what's out there for now so that they can press forward in coming weeks. As you see, Vaughn with his best carry of the night. He gets 10.
As many as 25 guys at one point in time were suspected of being impacted by COVID.
Larry Trotter in the backfield. Pressure coming, and down he goes. It's Mike Rose again. He was rolling out, looking for a crossing pattern, but again, great coverage against Jabastin Taylor, 13. I think that's where he wanted to go with the football, and he was blanketed.
Rose just a nice job of discerning where this ball was going to come out, not fooled at all. But the back end of it, his success made possible by the coverage. Again, trying to get a guy cleared, the official helping him out, double coverage underneath, got a safety over the top, playing a one-free man concept. Boy, they were all over, denied the opportunity to even get the ball out of your hands.
Iowa State has just turned Kansas State into a one-dimensional team, and now they got to throw virtually on every play. That's as good a seam pass as you'll see. And now I get what they're talking about with regard to Ost's arm as he gets Phillip Brooks, 88. From the 44, first down. Little delay to Vaughn and nothing doing. Just swarmed by Waziriki. Second down and 10. Riley Moore shifts over into the slot left. They'll go with a quick out pattern to Taylor. And he's going to be just a couple of yards shy of the line to make. 3 for 7 today on third down.
Showing a nasty little blitz off this weak side here.
And they go with a little curl pattern, and Taylor could not bring it in. It was to the back shoulder, but frankly, I think he heard footsteps. Eisworth had his sights set on Jabastin, and a ball that I thought was catchable was not.
Soft coverage here. Eisworth playing a catch coverage. He comes underneath that and makes a great play. I like to see him play against the run because he's very physical and active, but that's a great pass defense right there.
Two, and they go with a straight eye formation. Vaughn will dot it, and it's a little naked bootleg action, and it's going to go incomplete.
And again, it's because Snow is coming off the side, and that's can't get his legs set.
The defensive coach, John Haycock, a happy guy today. Brock is the setback. Purdy does stay in the game. I'm not sure how long we'll see him in the second half, but he is out there now. Maybe this is why. Brock, he was one shoelace tackle away by A.J. Parker for hitting the end zone again with a touchdown run.
AJ had to come from his cornerback spot to make that play. And Timmy, here's the elusiveness. This is what we know about his game. He showed us in the first half that he can correct those accuracy in the throw game, but he's tucking that thing and judiciously running down the field, getting as much as he can. Rips.
Purdy lets it fly for the tight end, Sainer. And he's got it at the 7. Oh, Kohler, I beg your pardon, 88 Kohler. Their body type is almost exactly the same, 88 and 89. Charlie with that reception, coming into the game with 23. He's been all over the field all season.
Here's the toughness right here with Purdy. He knows he's going to get nailed. He takes the shot, Timmy, and delivers this one. He feels the pressure. He knows it's coming. Herbert's there in company. Turns around and said, did I complete it? You sure did. He had a string on the end of it, man, but he couldn't get his feet set, but just enough to get it there for the completion.
I'm wondering if Landon Akers, 82, who's not had a touchdown catch, I wonder if he's thinking about his opportunities. Here's Purdy now headed for the boundary. I know Charlie Kohler would like to see him get a touchdown opportunity. Cody Fletcher runs Purdy out after that dash towards the sideline.
Wyatt Herbert got stretched again, number 56 at defense.
Wyatt Hubert, a lot of credit. He and Drew Wiley won't stop coming after Purdy. There's no question about that. There we go with an out pattern, and there again is another block. That 3rd down and 8.
You got your tight end right now if you want him.
And that is Sainer. Looking for that fade again in the right corner, and it's knocked away. Hutchinson, the intended receiver, this will be a Connor Asali for a 32-yard attempt. His longest 42. And he's perfect. Cyclones get the ball on downs, and Farmageddon has turned into Pharma nearly over.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me college football rankings.
As long as Siri comes with the Gus Bus narrating, I'd like to take a look at the AP Top 10 rankings. And
my opinion, Oklahoma got some missing pieces back from their offense a couple of weeks ago and has scored over 60 points the last 2 contests they've been out. And this Iowa State team, remember, this is the same Kansas State team that beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma, shut them out in the 4th quarter, and Iowa State is doing a number on them today.
Cyclones own the tiebreaker over Oklahoma, but not Oklahoma State. Of course, Bedlam coming up a little later tonight. And the Cyclones have never been in this position. It's gaudy. This is as gaudy as it's ever been for a Cyclone program. And a win here puts them in great shape with a monster matchup with Texas next week. And then they close it out with West Virginia here at home.
Well, only because that man behind the statistics right there can run with a full cup of success. I can't think of a coach in America that I would want in that situation. He can run well with a full cup of success.
There's a quick out pattern to Vaughn, and he is spun down at the 30.
I just can't get enough what this guy right here has done. Remember the conversation he had with us about how he went inside and said, hey, look, what am I doing that allows us to be our best team, and re-examining that.
So that the Iowa State fans will be rooting tonight for Oklahoma. I thought his transparency when we had that conversation was amazing. I don't know that I've ever had a head coach take on himself and self-critique as he did to us. DJ Render on the receiving end, and he's able to navigate his way to the 35-yard line. His point was, if you want to be great, you got to be willing to sacrifice
everything.
And he said, you know, I had to look at myself in the mirror at the end of last year, seeing our record in November, and that was on me. He said, that really wasn't on my team. It was on me, and I had to get better. And there goes Trotter again, a little misdirection maneuver in the backfield. Jake Hummel will make this.
Most coaches kind of operate in a vacuum, Tim, in that regard. It's their way or the highway, but the great leaders have that capacity for empathy, and he's got it in spades.
Well, his team began the season, preseason top 10, you know, and they lose out of the gates, albeit during the COVID era, but they lose to the Raging Cajuns opening week. And suddenly it was like, oh boy, is this going to be another spiral downward? We got a pre-snap flag. Let's see what Oss can do here on 3rd down and 9. He's got 2 by 2.
He'll have coverage time. He's just got 3-man rush, but
Corner right off the edge, big time. Jaquan Bailey with the sack.
And Christian Duffy got beat him, and Bailey beat him off the edge there. Number 73, Christian Duffy tried to do his best. And the sad thing about it, it was a 3-man rush. He gets a nice step, and it just gets a little arm over move. Boy, he looks pretty small with that 3 on, but believe me, that's a lot of men making a move over the top there. Jaquan Bailey is a
time sack leader, 23 and a half. Also the most tackles for loss in ISU history with 42 and a half. All Iowa State. They're in the second half after a blitzkrieg in half number 1. This stadium was dedicated to Jack Trice in 1997 in honor of Iowa State's first African-American student athlete. It replaced Clyde Williams Field, which had been in use from 1914 through 74. Jack played in 1922 and 1923. As you see, this first down move by Breece Hall, and it's given the times, Spencer, I think prescient to consider what he meant at that time and how it's so very relevant in these times.
Well, it was a long time ago, but you know that Jack Trice means a lot to people right here. As you pointed out, Tim, the only stadium in this nation named after a former player and an African-American. On top of that, he came from good stock. You know, his dad, Green Trice, moved earlier in their life, and along with others, decided to make a life of himself in this part of the country, and boy, did he ever end up making an impact on his team.
On 2nd and 8, there goes Breece Hall again. He's down to the 40-yard line, maybe inside the 40. Echo Boydo with the stop. And in a lot of ways, his story, and we'll watch this move by Hall. How about that reception on the snap with one hand by Birdie?
Yeah, he pulled it in there, and then that right stiff arm right there gets you another 8 yards by Breece Hall.
Nwangwu is coming to the game now. And they go with a quick slant that is caught to the 34-yard line by Xavier Hutchinson. To make my point on Trice, his ending as a player was tragic, horrific in so many ways, Spencer. And I think that as it relates to what this institution decided to do and when they decided to do it, very telling.
Yeah, that emotional letter that he wrote on the eve of that game that he played against Minnesota, ended up breaking his collarbone on the second play of that game. But, I mean, I read it today, Tim. I get emotional just even thinking about the context of the times and what he penned prior to that game.
Down to the 31-yard line. Those that have followed the history of college football know that the foundation of the sport was rocked very early in its infancy by violence. You know, people dying on fields, and a lot of measures needed to be put in place. And in fact, it was the very nature of the foundation of the NCAA to help regulate the game.
Yep. No question about it, but I just can't say enough what impact he had, not just on this stadium, of course, bears his name, but his influence is far-reaching, Tim.
No question. I think I brought you in here for the very first time as an analyst 5 years ago for a Texas game, and you got caught up in it even then. And it's a story that will resonate for eternity as Nwangwu takes it to about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, it's one of those stories that makes you scratch your head sometimes because the humanity is what's often missed. And when you look at this nation, as great as it is, there are periods that we're not necessarily proud of. And Jack was the epitome of that, yet he willed in that letter how important it was for him to represent not just himself, his family, his race, his state, everyone included. And he ended up giving his life to the sport that he loved the most. And he couldn't even eat and live with some of the same players, and it's tragic.
2nd down and 7. Crossing pattern. Good maneuver there by Sean Shaw. He got into that position and then curled and got ahead for a first down. So move the chains, and Cyclones are still moving. And by the way, Spencer, I got no problem with Purdy staying in there. I think in this day and time, you get as much as you can. Urban Meyer was talking about that earlier today on the Big Noon Kickoff. Luongo fighting for maybe a yard or two. Daniel Green with the stop.
And I would say, Tim, even in a context where COVID was not a factor, I think given the week that he had against Baylor, I think you try to give him every bit of positiveness you possibly can. You can say, well, he erased that in the first half. Yeah, but you know what? Even Brock Purdy, who came in here guns a-blazing in 2018, you guys, we call that game, and it was against number 6 West Virginia. This place was absolutely nuts. You had them singing Sweet Carolines, jamming the fields. It was exciting. But even as we say that, this game today is even more impactful because of the implications of it. This program is constantly going to the next level, and it's dependent on the development of that quarterback.
Luongo. That for about a yard and a half. Well, speaking of that, Spencer, our producer Jake Jolivet was also on hand for that. They were singing Sweet Caroline as they stormed the field in the aftermath of that game. The freshman was putting on a show that night here. It was amazing.
Well, his accuracy was right on point, Tim. Again, his players honored him and caught the ball in the back end, and this was the result. Fans everywhere. And I remember your moment. You gave me the old Tim Brando block. Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
If I've got to shut up, so do you.
Never met a Mike you didn't love.
3rd down and 8. Brock is the setback, and he takes it coming out of the backfield. Look at that move by Darrell Brock. He's about a yard shy of the first down.
I think he just gave another definition of what it means to put your foot in the ground. As you're trying to defend that, man, it's tough. Brock did a nice job of putting his foot in the ground and going the opposite direction.
Well, 2 years ago, I put my foot in your mouth.
Easy, easy.
By Geico. Little Half Moon Rising.
Yeah, reminds me of Half Moon Bay back in San Francisco.
Here in the heartland of America. 38-0 our score. Iowa State with the lead as we get play underway in the 4th quarter. You see the scoring by quarters, and when you think about it, Kansas State had a chance to tie the game on 4th and 2. Since then, it's been all Iowa State, and on smelling like a rose today, Mike of Iowa State, Spence.
Well, you like him, man, and again, he shows you why. He's all over the place, blooming on this offense. Here, showing you great athleticism to go back and snatch that one. Put the big quarterback in his gun sights and brought him down. He's everywhere, all the time, omnipresent.
And here goes Deuce Vaughn.
There you go.
Finally gets loose. And they brought him around the formation, Spencer.
Yep.
He talks. Tyler Burns is now in the backfield.
Off the same look, nice. Oh, that should be a flag, Tim.
Incomplete for Moore.
It won't be, but it should be.
By the way, that run by Deuce was the 2nd longest play of the day for Kansas State. And ball's on the ground. A strip and the recovery. The strip coming by way of the Cyclones. And number 9, Will McDonald, was able to get through there and strip it. And I think Bailey is going to come away with a recovery.
Yeah, Will does get there, and Ash just can't wait. He tries to look upfield, takes a little bit longer, and you got to think to yourself, if that was Will Howard, maybe he gets out of there. It's a design read. It's a design run for the quarterback. He just hung on for it a little bit too long, and then McDonald got that hand in there and punched that ball out. Ball security. You know, a lot of times I got 3 guys, you got 5 to block them.
Hunter Deckers gets his first playing time this afternoon out of Hayward, Iowa. 234-pound freshman. That win over Kansas was 2 out of 5 for 55, and the left-hander checks it towards the sideline, and it's complete to Sean Shaw, number 2 out of the Z-spot with the reception, and they'll mark him down.
Justin Gardner got him down over there with a southpaw. That ball comes out there spinning, man, the opposite direction. It's kind of funky looking, and receivers have to make adjustments to that as well. Sometimes that ball rotates the opposite direction, and it doesn't make a big difference to us up here watching it, but it does make a difference to receivers.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5, as you see Brock Purdy looking on. A job well done for him today. Something for him to build on going into that game in Austin next week. Luongo.
Oh, what a great stop in there by Eli Huggins, the defensive tackle.
There you see the numbers on Purdy. You just can't play the position any better than that today. And he had plenty of help from Breece Hall on the ground, too. So a great complement of run and pass. And a big day, which by the game's end, he probably will be right around 500 total yards of offense. Well over 400 right now. And, you know, this is a young man that takes it hard. I mean, it was difficult for him after that loss at Oklahoma State, a game that they thought they let get away. He took it personally, and he took it personally after the first half of that Baylor game, too. And there's Brock again with the marker down, and he gets it to the 19-yard line. It would be
illegal shift, offense, numbers 87 and 80 out.
You move both those two tight ends from one side to the other. You got to get both set. And if one of them's going to be intent being in the backfield, you definitely got to be mindful of it because the officials are looking at it. It's a great idea to change the strength of the formation like that to kind of catch Kansas State on its heels, but the officials, Johnny, on the spot as well.
I mentioned his dad earlier. His father, Sean, played baseball at Miami in Florida in the minor leagues, and actually played in my hometown of Shreveport with the captains in the old San Francisco Giants organization, their AA farm club, and that's where Brock's dad met his lovely wife. And they're great parents, and they get to spend sometimes Saturdays watching both their sons play the quarterback position. Chubba, who's now hurt at Florida State, and of course Brock. Fox College Football is sponsored by Ram, built to serve. It has been a Brock Purdy kind of day. 3 touchdowns, Spencer, and he got it going. I thought the first one, the skates really opened things up.
Yeah, and then he got to his tight ends, and again, showing you that accuracy that he missed against Baylor on. It was there in spades in this one, and just to watch him, you can see the smile on his face is indicative of how he's got this thing under control now, and he just looks content, man.
On the left-hander, Deckers looking for Joe Skates, who had that catch right about the same place as that one fell incomplete.
One of them doesn't help that underneath defense.
Well,
I'm real short. Got a hand on that one. Maybe.
Asali.
Great push up front.
Not there. He was trying for... ready to go crossbar on time, but it didn't quite get there. Ball's on the ground. Looks like Iowa State's got it. And it continues to go downhill for the Wildcats. Tyler Burns had it, and I think there may have been a problem just with the exchange.
I think Tavon Cowell got his head in there and punched that thing out.
Deshaun Davis is the recipient, the freshman. Let's see.
Let's see if 13 comes in there. Gets his helmet in there, and again, you can see play action.
He got the ball all right, and it was punched out. That's a good call, Spence.
Well, you know, they took it to another level in their preparation despite COVID. You hate to see that happen to them, but they'll learn from it.
Tough time to have an open date, too, after you've lost a tough one at home the way they did. Pass is incomplete. Oftentimes said that skates
take much to knock you off your point, man, in a COVID era.
Absolutely. And the lefty gets it out to his man Skates. I'll tell you what, I like that maneuver. There's a little Kenny Stabler, Snake Stabler in that action, rolling right, throwing with his left arm.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's not an easy thing to do, rolling to your right, and then it reminded me of Steve Young. He used to get frustrated, but he had to get those shoulders squared and lined up to make sure that ball is on point and on that accurate line. It's a great job of the right in the mesh, and then kind of the overcompensation to get those shoulders squared.
Those of you that saw Indiana earlier today, Penix is a lefty that's got a sweet throw and can beat you with his legs as well. Stabler was the classic dinker and dunker back in the day. There he goes, the lefty on the run. Is he in? Touchdown! Hunter Deckers gets it in. Most prolific passer in Iowa history, where the record's career passing yards, passing touchdowns in high school, gets it in. 3-time All-State selection in Iowa Gatorade Player of the Year in 2019.
Got a little weight on him too, Tim. He's a hefty lefty. You see him get in there, turn into a running back, get those shoulders square. Gets down, and he's got great blocking in front of him.
And I'm going to say it again, Snake-esque.
Yep.
You know, people don't remember this about Stabler. In his early days as an Alabama quarterback, he got it done with his legs.
No question about it.
Got it done in the mud in the Iron Bowl. They'll never forget that one when Alabama beat Auburn back in the 60s. Solly with the extra point. 45 and counting. Let the lefty get it done. They don't call right-handers crafty. You know what I mean? They only call left-handers crafty. Time for Moments of Protection, brought to you by Allstate. Get better protected with Allstate. You've never been in better hands. Never been in better hands with this kid either. He's been pretty amazing, Breece Hall, no question about that. 15 carries, 135 yards, averaging 9 per tote. And this is going to be Keon Mosey bringing it up back at the 20-yard line. Just wants to keep it from hitting the ground because Iowa State's been all over every loose ball opportunity through the course of this game. Here it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, a little friendly fire.
Like a little Trice. Oh, man, a little friendly fire, bro.
Yeah. Mosey remains in the game. 2 tight ends, a little power action here. Yeah. It's a
call it Bedlam for a reason.
That's right. That look-in pass is incomplete, intended for Seth Porter. I think the key in this game is, when Rattler lost that game to Kansas State and had all those picks, he had no Ramondre Stevenson to turn to. And we saw them against Texas Tech when he first became eligible. I think he makes all the difference. And so does Perkins, by the way, on the defensive side.
I think right now between Iowa State and Oklahoma, they're playing the best all-around football as the flags come flying. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, you think about that game 2 weeks ago, the game that we had at Kansas State, as you see Keenan Garber on the reception there. I think with the week off, they've got a lot of momentum going into this game now with Oklahoma. Remember, the Sooners already have 2 losses.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's got 1 loss, and you can make a slight case that if they could win out, it would be impressive. No doubt about it. It would be very...
He's got the reputation of being a schemer, and he, with some time, is going to find a way to attack you. Again, I think you got to consider the last time out an aberration because he had 3 of his mission-critical players all banged up, as you pointed out. But, man.
They just took it to Penn State today. Absolutely nailing them. And let's just say we may not have a crowd, but that team doesn't realize it right now. They're having their own virtual party. Looking at the cardboard cutouts and the band at social distancing.
Singing Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, in their minds. Brock is stopped. And a nice play there by Spencer Fussell.
Lafayette comes in here and gets a win. That's a mental thing, right? You know you're better than them. COVID was a factor. We get all of that.
Right.
But now you come into a context that's a little bit different, a lot more on the stake. No one in the stands. How will you respond to that? That's about harnessing your will and going out and making plays. And that's up to the coach. That's what Matt Campbell's job is, to create a narrative and allow this team to embrace it and then go play.
And the thing I loved is Campbell listen, he said, they outplayed us that day, and they've got great players. Louisiana Lafayette won 11 games, and Billy Napier is on everybody's hot list for a big-time head coaching position over in the Sun Belt Conference. And listen, Arkansas State also beat Kansas State that same day. So there's good football being played outside the P5. There's Trussell again with a sack as he collaborates with Eli Huggins on Deckers.
Got plenty of room to work with. Fella, rocking it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what college football is all about. Hey, Timmy, when I was 18 years old, there was no place in then the Big 8 conference. Iowa State had the rockinest speakers in all of the Big 8 conference in America, as far as I'm concerned. The tradition lives.
Oh, yeah, the great DJs in the end zone, right? As you see Keon Mosey carry for a couple of yards. You shouldn't be dancing when you're having this kind of success. This is unprecedented for this program.
Well, you look at since 96, I guess, when the Big 12 Conference, he owns 4 of the 5 winning schedules against in-conference opponents in the conference. In the history of this program, that's amazing.
Mosey again trying to get to the edge and trapped. You saw that record they had back in '76. Spencer, it was about the time in the mid-'70s when Johnny Majors left here.
Oh, yeah.
And people weren't real happy.
They weren't happy about that because they lost a couple of good coaches.
And they went and he went to Pitt, of course, got Kavanaugh, Matt Kavanaugh later, Tony Dorsett with the help of Jackie Sherrill. And they won the national championship in '76. But Iowa State was still good, and I was happy to see that they named the practice field, which is next door to Jack Trice Stadium, after Johnny, who sadly just passed away a few months ago.
So if Johnny would have stayed more than 1 year, they probably would have named a lot more after him.
You think? 3rd down and 8. Little quick out pattern from Ost. It'll be a yard, maybe 2-yard shot of receiving end.
And of course, I think this is a fair statement. If Johnny Majors isn't Johnny Majors, maybe he doesn't even get the field name after him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point. Of course, Johnny, I called a lot of his games way back in the day in the 80s, Spencer, and some of his SEC championship teams. He remembered everything about every place, including Ames, Iowa, trust me. Eisworth with the fair catch.
Missouri Valley Conference.
If they win the championship this year, it would be during a international pandemic, and their last one came 6 years prior.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is 108 years since.
Longest running rivalry between two teams in this part of the world. Jarrell Brock catapults his way beyond the 30 to about the 32-yard line. What else happened in 1912?
I do know that the average income was about $1,338 per house. You know, well, I'm going to check that, but I'm almost 100% sure that was the median income for the average American at that time.
Well, listen, I trust your civics and history knowledge. I do. You don't have to convince me. There's Brock as we speak.
Offense had 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
I said it when we opened the show, Spencer, and I really do mean it. For Matt Campbell, at this stage of his program, there's no doubt in my mind he's looked away from NFL opportunities, other big-time jobs that were coming his way. Tennessee was, I mean, they would have loved to have had him, okay? Didn't happen. Other places wanted him. Didn't happen. And I think he wanted to see this team through. He wants this program to get a coveted conference championship. As you see, Deckers looping it deep, and it's caught at the 35-yard line. And the left-hander rolling to his left gets it done. Finding Aiden Bitter, the wide receiver, freshman from Tampa, Florida, Steinbrenner High.
And it came up a little bit short, didn't have a lot of mustard on it, but again, even though he's rolling to the side that he's strong to, this left side, he should have had enough to get it there, but receiver made him pay it off by catching it.
I'm telling you, that looks like Snake Stabler to me. It really does. Just a bigger version. You know, whenever that happens.
And Kenny had a nice compliment from my wife, if you remember, too.
Yes, he did. Here goes Brock. Spun down at about the 30-yard line. Brock. Boy, he's keeping those legs churning. Look out. He got the first down. He was going to not be stopped. It's tough to get on the field when you've got the best running back in the country, arguably. Brees Hall in front of you. And Nwangwu is also very, very good.
Yeah, they got a lot of good backs. It kind of reminds me of Oklahoma. You know, back in the day, we went 6, 5, 7 deep, man, and running back, and you get Wally pipped if you stayed out more than a series.
Spoken by the man who decided to take a red shirt when Marcus Dupree was recruited.
When I saw him get on that bench press and bench press 425 like 5 times, I said, I'll take the red shirt. And they asked.
Reckoning 7. By the way, this will be the biggest shutout and blowout victory over K-State by Iowa State well, let's see. We've been talking history here. Well, we're talking years and years and years. 8th longest uninterrupted series, yes. Largest margin of victory since 1943, 48 points. It's the first shutout of Kansas State by Iowa State since 1978. Now, that is just amazing.
That's how you measure success. You look for inflection points. What are you doing now that has never been done before?
And Kansas State was shut out by Oklahoma back in 2015. But in this series, and this is a series dominated by the Wildcats in recent years. Here comes some Sweet Caroline, and I'm sure that the players are going to enjoy it, and so will the band and the Majorettes and Pom Pom Girls. Matt Campbell comes away with a huge win, setting up destiny. I got to tell you, Spencer, this club right now I wouldn't want any part of, and Texas has issues. I mean, Herman he's coaching to keep his job right now.
Well,
he is.
I can go a deep dive on that and tell you about that, and the heat's going to be rising soon.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you think about that. This club against Texas, based on the way they played, and I know, listen, Kansas State was crippled, but they're going to be oozing with confidence when they go into Austin next week.
Well, they are 100% complete, and what we saw today was the balance through the throw game with Purdy, Breece Hall on the ground. I don't know if there's another team that's more balanced than them. That makes them tough to defend. You got to defend the throw game, the run game, the